I'm gonna do like bare bone, bare bone, bare bone changes. So okay,
Yeah.
this is the link replacer, and I think that's actually doing the slowdowns.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the following. We're going to create a new module, and that module will be called the link module.
Maybe internal link module.
It might be called that way, but I like to keep these names short because of the class names.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's call it link module for now. We can change that afterwards. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna scaffold. What the fuck? Uh huh. Yeah. Okay. So
Are we live, by the way? Are we
yeah,
recording?
I'm recording. I'm recording. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So okay. Context. We need it in front end and REST because content can be still gotten from the REST endpoints, and some teams do it, etc., etc. So we need to have it in both contexts.
Okay.
Static function configure for the module configuration if we might need it.
Can you maybe show our old shitty code on the left side?
Yeah. So I've created a simple DI module which will serve as a focal point for all of the handlers and services, and then we're going to do handlers so this will serve as the handler for the service.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's gonna be on init. If this can be 90 init, this can be 20, and we're going to copy the context.
So it's also important for me to understand why are we creating the module and why are we creating the handler?
So in the XVP DI system, we are we have a full separation of concerns, and XVP DI is modeled to Nest.js. So there is an application. This application
Yeah.
each has an individual module, and each module has its handlers, which hook into various WordPress hooks, and
Yeah.
it has its own services. So, for example, since this entire link replacement depends upon one thing, and that is if the URL replacement is enabled.
Yeah.
So we can basically conditionally initialize the module.
Okay.
So if
And the module is basically the
wrapper, it's
like
just
the first connection. Yeah, the first connection, like the first connection, and it contains the handlers and services.
yeah,
Correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
And we're just going to do it like this. So if the user didn't enable the URL replacement, then we're
Mm-hmm.
not loading the entire module. So the entire function will be unavailable. So the good
Yeah.
part about using these modules, handlers, etc., is because you can like group functionalities and conditionally just shut off the entire part of your plugin to speed up performance. So for example, this link replacer only works in front end and REST. So when you're opening admin, it
Yeah.
won't even be added to the queue, to the hook registry, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. So it's like faster.
And how did
it's
you define those contexts? Where did you define them? Can you show that to me?
here? So basically, we tell this the module is initialized on the init hook with priority
Yeah.
19, but only if context is front end or context is REST.
Yes, but where did you define the CTX front end and REST in the first place?
They are defined.
Yeah.
They're defined in the XVPDI, so it's all a feature
Ah.
of the DI system.
Yeah.
Because the DI
Okay.
system is both contextual, it's dynamic, and it's conditional. So basically, if you look at this DI system as a box of Lego bricks, it's a box containing all of the Lego bricks, and you can choose how and what are you going to build.
And you built this plugin, which contains, or you built this package basically, that contains already all these kind of things, like these contexts and yeah.
It's here, and there's actually an entire documentation explaining you how you can like set up a small plugin with the entire example for both the plugin and both the plugin extension. So if anyone wants to like hop into this, they can.
Yeah.
But we're using it because it standardizes development, improves development, and enforces the best practices.
Yeah.
So, but we're currently just now going to scaffold the process. So we have we need to change the content, we need to change the nav menu items, and we need to hook into the Elementor front end the content.
Yeah.
And we can basically do it like so. Let's do it like this for now.
And we also use the Elementor front end content because we also want to replace internal links of, for example, text editors of Elementor widgets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a filter. Filters are also defined as a decorator, and we can just copy this. So the filter is the content.
Yeah.
And we're hooking in the PHP int max constant because we need to hook in the end in order to change the URLs. Why is it the same function? Oh, I understand. Okay, so I'm not familiar.
Yeah, they all receive. No, I understand, but they all receive content basically, like textual content.
Okay, even more awesome. We can then hook in like this. So each function can define multiple filters.
Ah, yeah.
And the Elementor one is also the same, yes? Even better.
Yeah. And currently, this feature works for 70% of cases, but it's not completely working and also slowing down the website if the feature is enabled.
Here's an awesome thing. So basically, since we can only do this if we have the current language, yes?
Yes, that's true.
We can then conditionally initialize the entire handler.
Ah, yeah, perfect.
What can it return? It can return int, bool, string, PLL language.
Yeah, I think based on it, you have like one parameter that determines what the return is going to be.
Okay, we can do it like this.
Do you only want the language code? Do you only want, Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
And we can use PLL current language because we know for sure that Polylang is already loading, right?
Yes.
We did that on a deeper level or on
Yeah. So
yeah.
our entire plugin in its initialization is based if we're currently deactivating Polylang, and we're firing it on the
Yeah.
Polylang initialization hook. So our plugin gets
Yeah.
loaded only if the Polylang gets loaded.
Okay, great.
So basically, this is it. So I won't reword the entire feature, but basically,
No, I understand.
we need only one more thing. So basically,
Yeah.
and
This is going to contain all this mess that we created on the right side, but then in a improved manner.
yeah, I'm just looking for some things. Give me one sec.
And the reason that it's quite complex is because Polylang also works with we have to search for internal links that are only basically Polylang links or links internally, like the current domain or a domain with a subdomain, but you can even set a subdomain with another domain, or you can do a domain with a folder, like on the first level. So we need to create a mechanism where we detect all these kind of Polylang URLs, and that's why it's now a little bit of a mess. So we have to clean it up, of course, but
Okay, so we're still missing the manager here because this is a different branch, but I think we might be able to so in this branch we're going to do it like this. And you'll see why I'm doing this in a second.
okay.
So here you're doing this,
Yeah.
but we already have this.
Yeah. You mean we have a wrapper around Polylang functions?
No, we have a wrapper for exactly this thing. And that's it. No, not get active, it's sorry.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Maybe it's in helpers? No.
It's here.
Yeah, it's
here.
What's it's bulk service, yeah.
So you see this?
Yeah. Get available taxonomies, yeah. So it returns taxonomies that are available in Polylang.
You see this? So it gets the taxonomies and it uses this. So basically this is this.
Yeah.
So we can...
Yeah, exactly.
We can literally do it like this. But I'm wondering... Why are you doing it like this?
Sorry? You are asking why are you doing
it like this?
And what would be your suggestion?
I'm just going to scaffold some of the things. Things. So we have this link replacement handler.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to just do this. just need to move this. So
When you're writing private read only for a parameter, why are you doing that?
I'm using constructor promotion. Basically,
Okay.
instead of assigning manually, you can do constructor promotion since PHP
Ah,
8.0, and the read only is a modifier that says you can't change this class. This class is immutable. And
so basically, instead of defining the properties above in the class above the constructor, you are doing it straight into the
yeah,
parameters section. Yeah,
it's a shorthand feature and something I've been using in Node.js for a while. And I'm
yeah.
marking it as read only because this signifies both to me and anyone reading the code that this is immutable.
Okay.
So it's the same instance, it's read only, nothing changes in it, it won't be changed, it's immutable. So
Yeah.
basically this is it. And then we're going to just do this. So let's just shortly define the process here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's simple.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So if there are no hrefs and if
href.
yeah, and
Yeah.
if just return it.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And extract URLs from HTML. We can basically do it.
With the DOM parser.
Yep.
Since we already used the DOM parser library in the plugin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe only links with an href tag, or
Need to look this up.
yeah. Also maybe important to show which library we're using here.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I didn't know this library before for PHP. It's nice that you're still using Stack Overflow for like real OG stuff.
I'm old school.
That's what I
I
say.
know people usually use ChatGPT and stuff, but
No, it's nice. That's nice actually.
nah, you know what? We're going to do it like this.
No, there's only one thing I need to mention is it has to work both sides. So you have a Polylang website that has a home URL, like a base URL, let's say English, and you translate it to French. But it should also be possible at some point to set French as the base language and translate everything back to all internal links back to French. Or we can just start with step one
We don't care.
from only the home.
So we don't care, and I'm going to explain to you in a really simple matter why we don't care.
Okay.
So we're not getting any Polylang home, nothing with /n/fr.
Yeah.
This gets you the home URL like root.
Yeah.
So we have the root, and we can do it like this.
Okay, yeah. I'm only thinking about all the exceptions. Let's say someone has a internal link without using the domain, so straight path. Then you cannot find it this way.
Do you see
That's
this?
fine.
Oh,
yeah?
sorry, I just realized I haven't zoomed in enough. So, do you see
Oh,
this?
it's fine. Yeah?
We're only targeting links which begin with the home URL
Mm-hmm.
and links that begin with an absolute path.
Okay.
So only those.
Yeah?
So only those.
Okay. This is already so much better than the right.
So, okay, you're doing. Let's follow your logic and try to prove it. So, exert your own okay. Damn.
This is a mess, but
Sorry,
I
man,
have to be honest.
I'm not even trying to understand this.
I'm
not even trying to understand this. So,
it tries to find basically all the versions of HTTPS, HTTP, the domain, the domain with HTTPS,
yeah.
the domain with www.
But this is basically just all of this you're collecting, blah blah, prag match pattern, etc. etc. We're doing it like this. So
yeah, and then we only need to exclude, of course. Well, maybe not yet. Let me explain. Before I did it with the output buffer for the whole page.
Yeah.
So then I also needed to exclude media files, CSS files, all these kind of things. But since we're now only doing it in the content sections, like specified filters, we don't need to exclude, I think, media files and those kind of things anymore. You see there, if you go a little bit below, because before there were people breaking their page basically because the internal URL replacer was replacing their URLs with for media, supposed to be for media or for CSS files or JavaScript files or all these kind of things. And one more thing that's also very important is that we exclude links that do contain I think it's called hreflang or lang, something like this, because this is the Polylang language switcher. The language switcher also uses links. But for example, if you have a language switcher with all 5 links, you don't want to replace, of course, all links with the same URL. Those need to stay intact, because otherwise you're replacing everything to the current language.
I have no worries and no doubts that you'll be able to do that.
No.
You do that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just so you understand why all this mess is over there.
Yeah, the good thing here is we're just replacing parts. So
yeah. Yeah.
So this is our URL.
Yeah. There's one more thing I'm thinking about now, and that's also a reason why in one use case it didn't work.
Yeah.
And I want to discuss it with you. Let's say someone has a... No, that's maybe not true. No, that's not true. That's not true. Sorry, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Query. Fragment. Okay. Okay.
So basically what you're doing is no home URLs, or yeah.
There it is.
Are you... No, what I mean, like are you excluding home URLs there in the replace what is it called? Replace URL method. You're saying if there's no URL, or if there's no URL with the path, then we're not returning.
Yeah.
Then we're not continuing. Yeah.
Yeah. So if there is no path in the URL, like fuck it, cut it off.
Yeah. Okay, let's, I think from here, or do you want to continue, like...
I just want
maybe...
to see how you're getting the post URL and stuff like that.
Yeah, Polylang has methods for this. It's easier for posts. Terms is a little bit more difficult.
I have to ask you, why are you doing this? For the terms.
Because I'm trying to search for, I think, URLs that can be where the post ID can be found based on the term link, based on the term URL. For posts, for example, you have a WordPress native method where you can give it a path, and then it can convert it to an ID, and based on this ID you can find the Polylang other versions. But for terms,
But why are you doing it like this? just need to get this, right?
Let me see. Text base. It could be because people rewrite their taxonomies.
One sec. I think there's a faster way to do it.
Okay.
Give me one sec.
There's a fly annoying me.
So yeah, that is basically the way to do it.
But it's not a very clean way, of course. And to be honest, I needed to fix this. So I also did a few things with AI here, and it's not the most clean way to do it, but I needed it for one client. So this worked, but it's not very organized. Okay, maybe it's better that I continue with this thing and you.
But I just wanna see if I can give you a few pointers. Yeah, URL to post ID is good. That's okay.
Yeah.
For the relative URLs, you can also use get page by path. That is also one of the fucking awesomest thing. Like get page by path. Like you forward it page/subpage/subpage. It will give you the URL of the subpage. It will give you the post object. Get page by path. I'm sending it.
Okay, great. And why is it better than URL to post ID?
Because it's faster for the pages.
Okay.
For the pages, it's faster.
Okay. And then.
Yeah.
Let me think. Yeah, for example, one annoying thing with some of these methods is that if you do URL to post ID, Polylang in the background already filters to the different language. So then you have to. Sometimes Polylang changes those methods already in querying. So it again queries the wrong language version of it. So you have to set it back to the. There were a few issues. I cannot give a good example now, but. What are you looking for? Is there something brewing? I feel there's something coming.
Yeah, there is
Like
something
in your
coming.
head. I know your face when there's something
Yeah, give me 1 sec, give me 1 sec.
coming. It's so nice.
You have the repeat rewrite, and it has like fucking awesome things because all of the so here's the thing:
Mm-hmm.
all of the rewrites are in this object,
Yeah.
but it has regular expressions for each rewrite. By matching the regex to the rewrite, we can see what we're querying. You understand?
Yeah, I think I understand.
Because it so. Let me show you something. This is this one blow your mind.
So
What
you
the
do you mean?
I mean, the rewrite object is in the database. It contains
Yeah.
regex, regular expression on one end, and
Yeah.
on the other end, it's a query string.
Yeah. So you can use this to search for the right URLs, you mean?
You don't have to do the analysis of the URL to see what data you need to get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're checking, is this a taxonomy link? Is this a term link? Is this something
Yeah.
else? And you can remove all of the checks, and by removing the checks, you know what to get.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna see what the VP rewrite has to offer. And it has a lot to offer, and I know it basically. I know how to add my own rewrite rules. Think WordPress, you're
Mm-hmm.
on one page, when you're on another, you can do all sorts of shit there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is a new use case for me.
Yeah.
So I just wanna see what's in there. So we're going to remove this. Now let's do it like this.
And then we get everything.
And then we can do this.
Yeah. What are non-WP rules?
Do you see this?
Yeah. I think I know what you mean.
These are your taxonomies.
Yeah.
Rule. Oh, yeah. I know why we don't have the rules.
They need to load later, or?
Yeah. They get loaded in later, and we can do it
Yeah.
here. And then, for example, when I go here, come on, man, where are the rules? Give me what?
No, I think it's still too early, right?
Yeah. It's too early.
Maybe WP as a hook.
Yeah, I think it's some VP.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
Yes.
Oh. There you go, man.
I see English, French. Do you see?
Yeah.
The Polylang added rewrites.
Yeah.
And they will also, of course, change if we add new languages dynamically, like
Yeah, but we don't
automatically.
we don't care about that. We care about this. Digging in WordPress. Fuck yeah.
What are you looking for?
To see how they do it. To see how they do it.
How do you do what?
Where do they do the matching? Because I can't remember where the matching happens. Matching might happen in VP query.
You mean the matching of the current URL with all the rules? Or the matching of the URL with what object should be queried?
Let's dig in, because as I've said, I think VP rewrite can be used for all of our needs, because it has all of the URL regexes, regular expressions that we're checking, and since it has them all, we just need to check if it matches.
Yeah, but then okay, so can you try to explain? Like, okay, so we use all the.
Check this out. So if you go to the Centauri Whiskey.
Yeah.
If you go to this URL. So if you go to the rules, these are the rewrite rules.
Yeah. these are all the rewrite rules existing. Yeah.
Yes. So let's do the following. We're gonna do it like for a simple test, and if this test works, then basically you have your work cut out for you. So let me just add the link module. We can remove this. We don't need it for now. Link replacer handler is okay. Link replacer. Okay.
I think I know. So you want to try to you want to find all the URLs, then compare them to all the regular expressions, and then based on the regular expressions, you have the way to find the right object, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I just need to add one link here so we can see how it goes. So let's go to the Suntory whiskey.
Yeah, but okay, but then maybe you need to work with the English version, or is your on default on Serbian? Yeah, I think your default is Serbian.
Yeah, my default is Serbian.
Okay.
But I don't know. Come on. So we need to edit the English version, yes?
No, the home URL is the home URL, right?
No. But
so if your home URL,
we need to edit the Serbian version in order to.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, whatever. I still don't know if you're doing it right now.
I've just added the.
So like if your home your base language is Serbian, then you translate to English, then English still has a Serbian language normally, and you want to, yeah.
But first I need to do the translation for English via our plugin.
Yeah.
The best part would be like if it broke because we're on a different branch.
Perfect time to stretch your legs.
Yep.
Okay, we've translated.
Yeah.
Okay. So now there's still a Serbian link there, right?
Yeah.
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 And if there's a version in English of this, we should replace it.
It doesn't work.
What did you want it to do?
It doesn't work. Oh, I forgot to add the handler.
Okay.
Still doesn't work. But handler has been added. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the feature is still not enabled.
Yeah. It usually works when you enable the feature. So it's features, internal URL replacer, save changes. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but your URL replacer is already working. So we're going to just
yeah.
I'm going to save without formatting, and now it should be, yep, there it is. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Let us pray. What?
Oh, there's something else. Maybe, yeah. Maybe done before.
No, it's stupid.
Let's see.
It's
Sure?
oh.
No! You need to be sure first. Ah. Didn't match anything, or... No path. Or what? No. It...
No. I know.
Yeah, okay. But we still, like... Can you go back to the...
No. We need to escape. Give me 1 sec. I just need to see. There is a function.
does WordPress...
There is a function called frag replace.
Mm-hmm.
Frag escape.
But does WordPress not have their own built-in match function for...
1 sec.
Ah. No.
Okay, this is from AI. So let's just pipe it in like this. So Here's hoping. Motherfucker.
But are we?
Are we?
Are you sure we have a pop?
There is.
Yeah.
There it is, my friend.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay, and now we can use this to find the actual object, or
well, you have the VP rewrite here, and you have the permastruct, you have how it constructs the URLs, and you're getting the URL. So depending on the URL, and let me show you this. So if you go to the rewrite rules, yeah. So you see this? So depending on what it gives you from the right side,
yeah,
you can easily identify what we're looking at. So for example, if you have a category name, that's a category, and you have a term slug. Do you understand or you don't understand?
Yeah, okay, but let's try to find the final slug of this category now. Then because we have the URL, the actual URL. So how are we going to find the actual ID of this URL to
Well, I'll explain. One sec. I'm again going to ask AI.
fucking hell, I'm hungry.
One sec.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is gonna be so good. Check it out.
Are you coding or like?
Yeah. One sec.
Yeah.
So yeah, AI is good for something.
Mm-hmm.
Ho ho ho, motherfucker. Oh no, 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 no. I fucked it up. One sec. I'm gonna ask it again.
And you are still in your cursor denial.
No, I'm never, no, 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 never using it.
But you can also
I,
use Cloud Code in Visual Studio Code, huh?
yeah,
Like
I
Cloud
can,
Code.
but I have to explain something to you. Over relying on AI makes me more stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I only ask it questions when I have like some big architectural decisions to make or when I'm trying to identify
Yeah.
performance bottlenecks or bugs. I generally tend to avoid it for writing my code.
Hmm.
Okay? Let us pray. Ho ho ho, check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out, check it
Seems to
out.
work, huh? Hey?
Fuck you, buddy.
I really cannot follow what we're trying to do now.
You'll see. trying to kick it on its ass. We're trying to kick it on its ass. So let's see. What the fuck? Uh-huh. Yep. Okay. I'm so fucking good. So, let me show you. So you see this?
Mm-hmm.
These are your query parameters.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can pipe that to VP term query,
Yeah.
VP post query, and if you limit it to one,
Mm-hmm.
you will always get the object in the current ID because Polylang will automatically rewrite the ID.
What do you mean?
So, everything we're doing here,
Yeah.
We're just going to wrap this. For example, when we initialize the service, we're going to do all of the regexes, etc., etc. We're going to prepare them, so we don't have to use the VP rewrite object. But here's the thing: when we do this, we check the VP rewrite rules, blah 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 blah, and depending on the URL we forwarded it, it will give us a query array.
Yeah.
Depending on the query array, we can see if we're querying post, page, term.
Yeah.
And if we do, we can use that to directly get the ID.
Yeah. But I still don't understand how we get the ID.
So,
because still we still have a category name and a slug. Okay, via the slug we can get the ID, right? Yeah, I understand. Or we can use get term by or get term by name. Yeah.
Depending on what we find here. Okay, let me show you something else. Okay.
Okay, sorry, I did forget that we really actually have the slug. Yeah.
Yeah, we have the slug.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: this formats it for you. So you have the query parameter.
Yeah.
You have the query parameter and you have the query value.
Yeah.
So for example, if it's a post, it will match a post.
But still, category name is still not okay. Category name is it's still not a taxonomy, for example.
Yes, it is, my friend. Because if you have a category name, then you can remap it to category and to a slug. For the custom taxonomies, the query object will be different. For posts, it will be different. For pages, it will be different. For custom post types, it will be different. So we only need to handle the following things: pages, post types, terms.
Yeah.
So we only have two things.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
So,
yes.
On your test website, you will do the following. You will create a custom post type manually, custom taxonomy manually.
I lost my AirPods.
Oh, no problem. So, this is, you are aware of the P versus NP problem?
No.
P versus NP is the problem where it says basically so problem for some problems you can quickly verify if they're solved. You can quickly verify if the result is fine.
Okay.
But it might not be quick to solve. And it's an unsolved problem basically. But what it boils down to is to a set of knowns and unknowns. Here we are working in a known set.
Yeah.
Because WordPress parses all of the so since I haven't changed any of my previous permalinks, I haven't saved them, and I had WooCommerce on this installation before.
Yeah.
So you can basically, I don't know if you can find some WooCommerce shit here. I don't think you can, but let me just check. So
That should orders or that should be.
So you see, so check this out. So for example, for the products, so
Yeah.
you're trying to view a product, and it says products, blah blah blah, index
Yeah.
PHP, SC product, matches,
Mhm.
page matches, etc.
Yeah.
But this will basically, when we run it through this magic machine I made, you will get an array with the query value SC product and the slug, for example, or
Yeah.
something similar.
Yeah.
We can query the list of post types, we can query the list of taxonomies.
Yeah.
And depending on the array we get when we parse the URL
Yeah.
and we pipe it through the regex,
Yeah.
we know if we're dealing with a custom post type
Yeah.
or we're dealing with a custom term.
Yeah.
And then you can build separate queries and subroutines, which depending on what's in the array and what's the data that we already have. Because so we have the known data. The data is known. We have a known rewrite rule. We're matching the URL to the rewrite rule and parsing the array, which basically gets forwarded to VP query.
Yeah.
The funny thing is we're doing it in 3 or 4 times more effective way than the VP rewrite does it, because it's ancient code. But here's the thing. Since we have the array with query variables, just by looking at the array keys, we can determine what we're looking at,
Yeah.
and we can query it.
Yeah.
And here's the best part. It's all cacheable. It's all cacheable.
Yeah. Why is that a bad part?
It's not the bad part, it's the good part.
I thought you were saying here's the bad part.
No, it's the good part.
Yeah.
Because once the content is translated, we do not have to rework the content again. So in this first year, we're going to do the following. We're going to change the URLs raw. But in the future, the best way to actually do this is the following. You've translated your content.
Mm-hmm.
Translated your content. Your links are 1. So, we, just by analyzing the URLs and collecting the post and term data, we can save it into the database table.
Yeah.
We don't actually even fucking have
You
to
mean-
we don't
you
have
mean-
to, no, look at this. The URLs are finite. There's a finite amount of them.
Yeah.
But if I link to Suntory Whiskey from one post and I link it to another post, it's what? It's the same URL, my friend.
Yeah. So you can cache this is the URL. You have to replace it with this, right? Or
Yeah, and we can actually build a separate database table with all of the URLs.
yeah.
And it will basically be like URL object type, post, term, page, or custom post type, term, and then the ID. And in the future, that can all be dynamic. I mean, we will still replace the content internally dynamically, but no queries, no term caching, nothing. We're just fetching the data from the database.
Yeah.
Because it's finite. The data set is finite. I mean, there will be billion ways to handle this performance-wise, but using this, we're able in a reproducible way, in a standardized process, we're handling it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so
Can you like push this to a branch so I can
yeah.
maybe continue
So
finishing it?
so basically, you need to split this into several functions, and then when you have this final,
Mm-hmm.
you need to build, I don't know, maybe a different service, but for starters, I would just push everything into this class,
Yeah.
because we will definitely need to create to follow the separations of the SOP principle, the separation of concerns. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, we will need two classes: one which will do the replacing, and the other which will basically
Search the
search
yeah
for
matches.
search for from the URLs.
Yeah.
But basically, you can use this, and just by seeing what's in the VP rewrite array, it will take you, I don't know, maybe an hour or two to find the
Yeah.
mapping, because you only need to you only need you only need to do the following: check how the links are generated and what gets matched for post, for page, for custom post type, category, tag, and custom taxonomy. And we've covered all the cases,
Yeah.
because we're not translating anything else.
No.
And here's the best part. Here's the best part. We know we're only translating posts, pages, terms, etc. And you can easily add the conditional for the craft lang, because since we're using the DOM,
Mm-hmm.
and since this is basically a CSS selector,
Yeah.
so give me all A links with
The
craft,
exclusions. Yeah.
but you can also add another attribute here for craft lang,
Yeah.
where there is no craft lang.
Yeah. 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 You have it on the right. I think I wrote the exclusions there already, but like a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lang and href lang. Those two.
Yeah, but this is really easy. So we can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Done.
Done.
Okay.
So I know it's a bit crazy, especially this. I still need to see how the fuck does this work.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, so basically what we're doing here is the following: match the URL path with the rewrite that it uses, get
Yeah.
the query variables, remap them, run the query, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it will be more performant than this solution, because regular expression operations are insanely slow, and that's why I like to cache everything.
Yeah.
So make an implementation that works, and in the second tier we can do a call. I can explain to you how to, I will define a paradigm how these things can be cached. So here, let me just give you a heads up. So for example, these rewrites, the flush rewrite rule, create rewrite rule, it's insanely fucking slow. Beforehand, a lot of plugins use like flush VP rules like all the time, and WordPress codecs like had a big red warning: do not fucking use this function in production, and do
No.
not use it on all requests.
No.
So
I never use it.
yeah, but here's the thing: in the future, like 3 days from now, because this is a basically almost ready feature, we can do the following: when the rewrite rules are being generated, WordPress fires an action, flushed rewrite rules, and it gives you all of them in array. We'll take them,
Yeah.
we'll fix their regular expressions and save it in a separate database option. So we don't have to constantly parse it, because
No.
basically what I'm doing here, I'm preg replacing it, and then again here I'm doing a preg replace callback. So this is slow initially, but we can speed it up in the future.
Yeah.
But do you understand the logic?
Yeah, but I also I understand like it's on 70%, but I just need to like
You need to start working with this code and actually using it.
it's no, but it's fine. I will figure it out.
But,
I 100%.
not to toot my own horn, but we're basically leveraging WordPress core against itself or for itself.
Yeah.
Because we do, so basically everything you already did here, they're already doing by themselves.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they do not give us an API to send them a URL and tell us what it is.
No.
But we're still using what they made.
Yeah.
And the good part is this won't, if we finalize this, if we make it performant, if we make it cacheable, this is something we will never return to.
Yeah.
Because one of the things we both hate worst about WordPress, which is the compatibility and them being in the past,
Mm-hmm.
also gives us stability here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if they change anything in the way WP rewrite works, then half of the plugins would stop working.
Yeah. Exactly. So this is a solid
This
base
is solid
to work.
foundation, yeah. Because we're not reinventing the wheel. We're not thinking what can happen. And another awesome thing is we can probably, so if you see this rules array,
Mm-hmm.
we can probably cut shit ton of it. Search. Nobody fucking links to search URLs. Embeds. We don't have to use that. Everything for the feeds. We don't have to use that. We don't have to track them.
No.
I mean, I would start conservatively here, and then if we get user complaints, like it replaces 99% of the URLs, but it doesn't replace this, then we'll see which regular expression we're missing, and just re-edit.
Yeah. Okay, I need a pause because I feel my brain is not functioning
give me 1
well
second to
enough
do this.
anymore, and then I need like just to think a little bit about it, and then I start coding, and then I will definitely solve this. But it's just a little bit much at the moment. But 100% I will figure this out. So yeah, nice you push it, and then I will finish it.
Done. Let me just stop recording.